2024 was wild. We really had a lot of football this year, including 4 international tournaments, and we all can see how much footballers have enjoyed playing those extra minutes. But I'm not sure if we can still pick any one event or moment as the biggest football highlight of this year. Like in the last few days, I tried to make a summary of everything I watched in football or whatever happened in football this year, and it was really too much for one video. But here is all what I could come up with in my football recap of 2024. Starting from Jan, we had AFCON, which in my view was the best international tournament of this year. They were using VAR to actually make correct decisions. The vibes were great, and so were the individual moments. Ivory Coast, who hosted this AFCON, won the tournament, beating Nigeria in the final. We also had AFC Asia Cup in the same time. The Asia Cup was hosted by Qatar and won by, let me check, also Qatar. Their forward Akram Afif won the Golden Boot and scored a hat-trick in the final against Jordan. On 26 Jan, Jurgen Klopp announced that he is leaving Liverpool. Liverpool were in the title race but were also never favourites, finished third, knocked out by Real Madrid in the Champions League again. But they did win a trophy, the Carabao Cup, against, yes, Chelsea. Or I would say Pochettino's Chelsea in extra time when Klopp played these players off the bench. But it was still more of Klopp effect and a record in Wembley since 2019. Former Valencia manager Gary Neville called them £1 billion bottle jobs. I'd be glad if we had focused more on the fat barbecue master. Look, I watched every single match of Chelsea in Premier League, and while they had so many young and new players, they could have done better in the first half of the season. And Pochettino was clearly not doing his job well, till he magically realized that he can play a back three and invert Marc Cucurella after getting hammered by Arsenal with 5-0, which is Arsenal's biggest ever win over Chelsea. Since then, Chelsea started to look better and finished 6th. And United, though won FA Cup, but what a season they had. Embarrassing performances, 8th place finish, and group stage exit in the Champions League. Spurs also missed Champions League spot, but we got a new top 4 team this time, Aston Villa. Arsenal were again in the title race, but again finished 2nd. And City won the league for 4th consecutive time. Real Madrid won the league quite comfortably. Barca finished 2nd, 10 points behind Madrid, went trophyless, and lost both El Clasicos. Knocked out in Champions League also by PSG in the quarter-final. And the Xavi saga was pure comedy. Man announces he's leaving in January, adamant to leave despite multiple requests, finally agrees to stay, then gets sacked anyway. You can't make this up. PSG won the Ligue A, Inter won the Serie A, but Bayern Munich did not win the Bundesliga this time, and it was not even close. Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen won the league for the first time in their history and their first trophy in 30 years. They finished with 90 points, 80 points above 3rd place Bayern Munich and 17 points above 2nd place Stuttgart. Leverkusen won the league as invincibles. In fact, they were unbeaten in all competitions till Europa League final where they lost to Atlanta. And Atlanta totally destroyed them in that match, thanks to tactical masterclass of Gasperini and hat-trick of Ademola Lookman. Real Madrid won their 15th Champions League title. But for me, the semi-finals were far more exciting than the final. Bayern looked a better side, but in the end lost to Madrid. PSG had a great campaign till they meet Dortmund in semis and lost. Dortmund also had a good campaign till they meet Real Madrid and lost in the final. Vinicius scored in final and stepped up in many other big games also. But Vinicius could not continue his club form with the national team in Copa America. And he was not alone. Without Neymar and Thiago Silva, Brazil looked uninspiring and were knocked out by Uruguay in the quarterfinals. Argentina, on the other hand, won the Copa America again. Their bus celebrations included a controversial and racially charged song mocking France and their black players, which did not sit well with French players, and rightly so. It was plain racist, no second thoughts about that. Talking about France, they were considered favourites to win the Euro 2024. Were my favourites too, but they lost to Spain in semis. The host Germany also lost to Spain in the quarter-final, which gained headlines due to a controversial handball. Italy were disappointing too, and lost to Switzerland in round of 16. Spain, who enjoyed a really good campaign, met England in the final and beat them by 2-1 thanks to Oyarzabal winner assisted by Marc Cucurella. Nico Williams scored the first goal for Spain and he was electric, not just in that match, but in the whole tournament. Lamine Yamal was phenomenal in Euros. He was balling and running the show at the age of 17. England, on the other hand, despite reaching final, did not come anywhere near the expectation considering the amount of talents they had for every single position. But they did have some great moments, like Jude Bellingham's bicycle kick against Slovakia and Cole Palmer's goal outside of box in the final. Ronaldo's Portugal were knocked out by France on penalties in the quarter-final, and Al Nassr failed to win the league again. But he reached 900 goals this year, which officially is the highest by any player in the history and is just simply mental. He also launched his YouTube channel this year, where you see Ronaldo talking about himself while with other guests on his channel and doing some challenges. While Ronaldo was grinding on and off the pitch this year, Messi was chilling but still had a great year. Won the Copa America with Argentina, won Supporters Shield and Eastern Conference with Inter Miami. Even Inter Miami has qualified for Club World Cup basis their Supporters Shield, a criteria which was not in the list before. He also launched his energy drink and got in legal fight with these influencers. Sadly, Messi did not win Ballon d'Or this time, but it was not awarded to Vinicius or Bellingham either, and Real Madrid also reacted very professionally to this. This time Rodri won the Ballon d'Or, and in my view he deserved it. Had a brilliant season with Man City and was instrumental to Spanish team's success in Euros. Vinicius still won the FIFA Best Player of 2024, Ice Cold Palmer won England Player of the Year, and what a year he had. He contributed most goals in Premier League in 23-24 season, scored 2 hat-tricks in that season, finished second in Golden Boot race behind only Erling Haaland. And remember, he is an attacking midfielder, advanced 8, number 10, second striker, this kind of player. And he did play his role equally well, not like he was just scoring goals. He plays effortlessly, makes crazy passes, and is scoring goals for fun, scoring penalties for fun too. In December against Spurs, he scored his 12th penalty in Premier League and became the first ever player to score 12 penalties without a miss. And he made this record with a Pennica. 24-25 season came with many clubs getting new managers and big players. Hansi Flick joined FC Barcelona. Looked like Barca hit jackpot and Flick inherited a mess. Did not get Nico Williams or any marquee signing for their left wing position. They did sign Dani Olmo, who is a good player and has been doing well for them, but his injury record is becoming troubling at Barca too. And still not the position they desperately needed. An established left winger, and they also did not sign a quality defensive midfielder. But they started very well, won El Clasico with a really dominant performance. The highline is entertaining and equally threatening for opponents, but lately not doing so well, went from top to third in the league table, which was kind of expected with these many young players or kids. Madrid finally have signed Mbappe, had a shaky start but now doing fine. Atletico Madrid had a good summer. They got rid of the player Simeone did not like much and got a player Simeone would like a lot. After beating Barca on Saturday, they currently sits on top of the table. Antonio Conte also has a new club. He joined Napoli on the summer and they are on top of the table. Wait, no. Atlanta is on top. Gasperini is going total mad this time. But Napoli are still doing great after the horrific title defense in the last season. And they got Lukaku this time. Victor Osimhen was linked with multiple top clubs, was negotiating with Chelsea till last day of summer window, and was even excluded by Conte from his squad for 24-25 season. And finally in September he left Napoli to join Galatasaray on loan. Bayern Munich, they agreed to part ways with Thomas Tuchel and replaced him with Vincent Kompany. And surprisingly, he is doing great. They are again scoring lots of goals, playing with intensity, and are on top of the table. So he's yet to show how well he can do in big games and in Champions League matches. They got Michael Olise too, and sold Method Elite and Mazurai to United. Mazurai for 30 million or less is honestly a steal, no matter how poor United are, and they are really poor. Erik ten Hag, who was set to be sacked after the end of last season, was retained and even signed a new contract to extend his stay till 2026, only to be sacked a few months later. It doesn't make any sense that they did not sack him in summer and missed the chance to give the preseason to a new manager. They were linked with many managers in summer. Pochettino, who is now with US soccer team, Thomas Tuchel, who is in England but with more talented bunch, his joining also got a very positive reaction, and De Zerbi, who apparently rejected them and their big paycheck for Marseille, where he is building the next Prison FC. They were also linked with Southgate, and their sporting director Dan Ashworth was a huge admirer. But not only Ineos rejected this option, they sacked Dan Ashworth too. The club hired Ruben Amorim, who has beaten Pep's Man City twice with 2 different clubs in a span of just 2 months. Manchester United were 14th when Ten Hag was sacked. Amorim is trying to implement his principles, improving their form and make players more confident. They even beat Manchester City at Etihad, and their league position since has also improved from 14th to 13th. I can't tell you how much I enjoy this as a Chelsea fan. Talking about new managers, how could I leave Chelsea out? We sacked another manager. Okay, it was a mutual agreement, but it sounds better to say we sacked Pochettino, especially after so much shit we went through because of him. And we replaced him with Italian coach not named De Zerbi. Enzo Maresca joined Chelsea as head coach from Leicester City this summer. I don't think he was in anyone's list of next Chelsea manager before shortlist was revealed, and honestly I did not know much about him. But so far, he has exceeded everyone's expectation. We are playing entertaining football, there is a clarity of his system among players, but it is still not robotic and offers a lot of fluidity and freedom to players. Chelsea are on second at the time of recording this video, even though our main issue has still not been addressed since last two transfer windows, center defense. Liverpool signed Arne Slot as their new manager, and boy, they got lucky again. Sitting on top, lost only one match, and that too to Nottingham Forest. I said that in my Premier League prediction too, how sorted he is and continues a lot of positive attributes of Klopp while bringing his fresh ideas and adaptability. City and Arsenal did not make any marquee signing. Arsenal did make some additions, some of whom were pretty good in Euros too, including this Aura King. City nothing much, Savio from City Football Group, and they also got Gundogan back. City are fair to say utter garbage this season. They are missing Rodri, who got injured against Arsenal and out with hamstring till the end of this season. Their current form might be the worst any top 6 side has had in recent times. Even Potter's Chelsea did not lose these many games in a span of 12 matches. And I'm talking about Potter's Chelsea, especially between December to Feb. I get nightmares even thinking about those days. Arsenal, who got a huge chance to get ahead this season, themselves are not doing so well. They are currently sitting on third, 6 points behind Liverpool. Chelsea, although not in a title race or have much chance to win the league this time, are doing pretty well. Palmer continuing his great form alongside him. Caicedo and Cucurella have been Chelsea's best player this season. Jackson is getting his flowers. Madueke is doing much better under Maresca. Sancho looking happy again, and Enzo since his divorce has hit the form of his life. Everton, for a change, did not sack their manager this season, and they finally got a new owner who are also Americans. Nottingham Forest, who were relegation favourites for many reactionaries, are on 4th, and if you say we are in title race, then they are in title race too. Juventus appointed Thiago Motta, who so far has not lived up to expectation. But I have not seen a single full match of Juventus, so I don't know if he is taking time in implementing his ideas, doing lots of experiments, or just was not ready to jump from Bologna to Juventus. Inter are trying to catch Napoli and Atlanta, while Milan are getting poor both on and off the pitch. FIFA introduced more teams from 2026 World Cup and announced Saudi Arabia as 2034 World Cup host because Gianni Infantino felt rich that day. Toni Kroos retired and plays his last club match in a Champions League final with Real Madrid, which they won. I'm not sure if you can top this. Oh, and Klopp joined Red Bull Group after managing Dortmund and Liverpool for more than 15 years. So fair to say that 2024 was wild. There was so much of international football, the major injuries are becoming common, and too much emphasis on data and stats for everything, which I don't think gonna reduce in 2025. We may see a new league winner in England after 5 years, a new league winner in maybe Italy or Spain too, and that's all what happened in mainstream football in 2024. I might have missed a lot in this video, but it was already getting too long, as you can see from the length of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like this video, it would be really great if you can subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you can check out other videos on my channel too. I also made a lot of video in 2024 and hopefully can make better videos in 2025. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.